ahead of you is a once-in-a-lifetime experience you'll never forget. Whether you've traveled abroad before, or this is the first time you've left home, the next 4 months in Madrid will not be a vacation with little to no contact with the locals. There is a good chance you might even forget that you're living in a European capital city. You'll be living with real people in their homes, eating their dinners and watching their shows. The most important thing to keep in mind as you prepare to board your plane is that your hosts are not just the people who make you food, and your house is not just where you sleep. If you let them, your hosts will become your family, and their house will become your home. With a little bit of effort, you can build a real relationship with your host family, which means you can have someone to look after you, introduce you to their language and culture, as well as act as a great resource to teach you many new things. All it takes is a bit of motivation on your end, so don't be shy. Your host family won't regulate your every move. In fact, quite the opposite. They want you to be safe and comfortable, but also care about you like your family would. You'll likely notice cultural differences. Kisses on both cheeks are a common way for women to introduce themselves to men and women alike. Men will almost always shake hands with one another. It's considered impolite to walk around the house in bare feet, so remember to wear your socks or slippers when you leave your room. It's just as impolite to stretch or yawn at the table or put your feet up on the furniture. Try to remember that you should treat your home as you would any home in which you are a guest. Spaniards also enjoy their meals. You'll notice that people don't eat on the go here. Food is too important to be taken on the metro. Don't be surprised if you see your family using a fork and knife to peel fruit, or eat a sandwich. Or if they ask you to help them clear the table. It'll be kind of you to offer to help with cleaning up. But it's also likely that they won't accept your help. Your host family will wash your clothes for you. A great way to show your appreciation is to keep your clothes tidy in your room. They can't know what laundry needs cleaning if everything is all over the floor. You will also find that clothes are usually line dried, and that clothes dryers are the exception rather than the rule. You're going to be living in apartments where noise carries. Downstairs neighbors don't appreciate hearing the tapping of heels or heavy stomping. Close doors quietly and walk gently once you get home, especially once it gets late. At the same time, keep the volume low when using Skype, FaceTime, or making phone calls.
Hey! Spain's so fun! I love it so much! I miss you!
Miss you too!
They understand the time difference between Spain and the United States, but common sense and respect do go a long way for making a wonderful semester.
I think just being kind, being courteous, and also be a bit of a jokester, have fun with them, like they are your family, like you're supposed to have a good time.
Your host family also wants to know what your plans are, and where you're spending the weekend, as your real family would. They won't have an objection to you attending a salsa class on Tuesday night, but it is courteous to let them know that they won't need to set a place for you at dinner. Your host family will establish a routine with you, and they'll expect you to be home for dinner at a certain time. It's okay if you can't make it, but you should call and let them know in advance. Kitchens are very special places for many Spaniards, and most families don't feel comfortable having people use the appliances. Therefore, students aren't allowed to cook. Some families will allow you to use the microwave or the toaster, but wait for them to offer or ask for their permission. Never assume. The same goes for the refrigerator. In some cases, host families will designate a part of a shelf for you to put your food, and this is something you should not expect. You should respect the space they give you if they decide to. We expect you to be open-minded and willing to try new things. Even if dinner looks completely unappealing, you can always try it, and if you don't like it, you can say, "Muchas gracias, pero no me gusta." They won't be offended, and they need to know. If you never tell them that you don't like paella, you might just end up eating paella once a week for the whole semester.
We are more dialect people. Doesn't mean that we are mad or no, we just go straight. So sometimes you guys are so polite, and for us it's sometimes complicated to understand what you like or you don't like.
The time has come to meet your Spanish family. It's normal to be nervous, excited, or a mix of both, but above all, try to stay optimistic. The most important thing is to step outside of your comfort zone and into your learning zone. While it's easier to sit in your room texting your friends or FaceTiming your loved ones back at home, step outside onto the balcony or right into the living room. Watch TV with your host family. Ask them about their favorite shows or even their favorite meals. Before you know it, you'll be fitting right in. And by the end of your stay, you may have found yourself a second family. They are just as excited to meet you as you are nervous to meet them. So grab that suitcase, hail that taxi, and head home.
My experience with my host family was pretty good, and I really recommend it if you come to Madrid, because it's a really nice experience to communicate with the locals and have a different perspective.
Hello everyone. It's about 9:30 at night, and we just finished eating dinner, or almost. And so let me tell you guys a little bit about what it's like to eat dinner with your host family. So here's my roommate. Hey, say hi. And here's our mom.
Hi. Hi guys.
All right, you guys see how fun it is to live at a host family. Until next time.
Without a doubt, the housing experience will be one of the most enriching parts of your study abroad program, because locals make your transition to a new environment much smoother.